Heidi Alexander appeared on GB News to discuss the grooming gang scandal report that was presented to Parliament on Monday. GB News presenter Ben Leo hit out at Heidi Alexander after their interview was suddenly cut short. Ben, who hosted GB News Breakfast alongside Ellie Costello, was joined by the Transport Secretary to discuss the recent case report presented to the government on the grooming scandal. Sir Keir Starmer has faced criticism for resisting calls for the inquiry, with the Conservatives claiming they forced him into a U-turn. The Prime Minister was accused of dismissing the opposition's concerns as some kind of far-right bandwagon. Ellie kicked off the interview by asking if the Transport Secretary has any concerns that the Labour government has pushed away victims from engaging with the national inquiry due to the language used. "No, I think we have been clear that the important thing is the protection of vulnerable children and we need to stamp out this vile crime that is being perpetrated by these grooming gangs," Alexander said. She hit out at the Tories, insisting the government wants to fight for justice for the victims who have been ignored for far too long, adding, "The Conservative Party had 20 months before the general election happened and took precisely zero action." As the interview continued, the politician began repositioning the microphone in her ear. Ben went on to mention that Whitehall politicians will be exempt from the inquiry, leading him to declare it is not a full inquiry, and questioning why Whitehall is not involved. Alexander explained the technical difficulties she was experiencing, responding, "The line is really very difficult and so I haven't heard in detail the question that you asked, but I think you were asking me whether this is a full national inquiry. I can tell you that it is being set up under the Inquiries Act. It will be a national inquiry with the ability to compel evidence from individuals and compel evidence being provided by organizations." As Ellie started asking another question, Alexander announced the interview had to end as she could no longer hear the duo in the studio. "I'm afraid I've totally lost all sound," she said before being removed from the screen. Ben couldn't resist taking a swipe at the Labour minister following her exit. He said, "It's a shame the line dropped with Heidi Alexander. She allegedly couldn't hear the question I posed to her in the fact that the inquiry will not include Whitehall and civil servants. How is that a national inquiry?"